Hello, everyone. Episode 45. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I got somebody joining me here today who's coming on board here in a second. Roberto, are you here? Let's see. So my friend Roberto is going to be joining us here. I met him through an interview that he did with Santos Bonacci. We connected recently, so I'm going to be asking him some questions about his experience with the Toltec dreaming arts. And he's got a really powerful setup in Mexico that he's created, a workshop facility, a retreat center. So I'm going to be asking about what he can, what he can offer as far as having people come out and do this training, the Toltec arts, in person in a real authentic and beautiful setting. So he's connecting the audio here, and we'll get him in. But yeah, he, in the interview with Santos, he was saying all the same things that I talk about, and lots of really unique just connection as far as like, yeah, most of the Toltec dreamers that I know are into power, and it's a very heart-based man. So hello, Roberto. Hey, brother.
Hi, greetings.
Greetings, man. How are you today?
Fine, and you? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I really enjoyed your interview with Santos. It was really, really cool to meet somebody who's interested in the Toltec arts, and
Yeah.
that's heart-based, because a lot of the people I work with are very focused on the power, and they got really spun out by the power of dreaming and how to sort of gather apprentices or how to achieve certain results. And so it's really a breath of fresh air to hear from you as far as your focus. And yeah, just so thankful. How did you get started? Was it something you were raised with, or did you meet some teachers, or what's your sort of journey, and how did you get involved in this knowledge?
For sure. I wish it had been like that. No, raised and born and raised in that kind of knowledge and energy. Not just me, all the humans around the planet.
Yeah.
Because it's the path of the real freedom, I think so, to get rid of that illusion that the system had created around us, and it's the path of the self-transformation and the experience. Mm-hmm. Because all of this is based in experience by yourself, and also is this wisdom. I love it because it's the character of this wisdom is based in, is practical. It's based in the praxis, not just in the rhetorical thing like blah blah blah. Because I love Greek philosophy, but it's too much rhetorical things, no? And philosophy that, and thinking, and using the mind all the time. But our philosophy is not just like that. You have to go beyond. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of this. When you start to practice empirically, 100% in commitment with yourself, you're starting to realize the beauty of this wisdom. And for me, this journey beyond begins I think 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. I have to confess, I started like most of the modern civilization in this century, and also the past century, the last century, and with Carlos Castañeda. We have to thank his labor to bring us back this information. And when I was young, like when I was 18, something like that, my first book of that, my first approach was Las Enseñanzas de Don Juan, the Don Juan teachings. And it was like, wow, blow my mind, because I started to realize, and also I fantasize with this ideal thing of the Tonana, what is this? This is amazing. But I couldn't understand well at the beginning. And also because I'm starting to enter to the world of the magic plants, peyote and ayahuasca and all those kind of things. And for me, it was a good beginning, just like that. It's for me, I can recommend that just for a good starting point.
Yeah.
Because Carlos Castañeda, for me, after his 4 books, the other ones is like, I don't know, I think he lost a lot of things, but he never taught us or told us how to practice this, because he never went beyond to the real practices of Toltec. And I start to learn about this in the experience, because here in Mexico, this tradition is still living, is still alive. Of course, it's contaminated also, because we have been through 500 years of colonialism and also this Inquisition thing, and that we have suffered, and along the continent, no, for sure, in Peru is the same, in Canada, United States, in Central America. But this wisdom survived because by oral tradition. And also we can find, if you start, I started to travel around the country. And also after that, after I finished with my country, I start to travel along the continent. And I start to learn from people living and experience everything by first hand, listening. And also, for me, Temazcali, you know what Temazcali is? The sweat lodge?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, Temazcali for me is crucial in this path, because it's one of the best medicines our ancestors left us. And also, it's beautiful when you start to practice this medicine. There in the Temazcalis, in the Temazcali tradition, you start to find a lot of information, and also you start to go deeper inside of you.
Yes.
Because we use the power of darkness and also the heat and everything. And there I start to meet people, and you know, and making connections here, there, and traveling, and one thing leads you to another. I spend also a season, like 3 months, more or less, living in the jungle of in the state of Chiapas. In Chiapas and Guatemala, there is a jungle. It's the Mayan zone, and I spent three months in the wild jungle, not just in the tourist places. And I found some people that they keep the tradition and taught me a lot of things, and we practiced a lot of naturist practices. We lived in the middle of the jungle, like we used to live, without electricity, without the, you know, the comfortable environment, just like that, wild, in the wild environment. And it was very cool, because I start to remember how to connect with nature, myself, and I start to practice my first fasting experiences. And then I start to, after I read the book of Castaneda's, the Art of Dreaming, I say, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to start to practice. And then I start to practice how to control my lucid dreams. And then I start to receive a lot of information by dreaming. This is very, very important. And also another techniques like this, like I started using the obsidian mirror.
Yeah.
It's another technique that we practice a lot. And then I start to make a profound research. And also we have to think of, to the internet also, because now we have a lot of information freely and able to get that information that we are searching, because now is the time. When I was with the Mayan people, a teacher told me, now is the time of knowledge and information, because now with one click on internet and Google, you can find whatever you want. And that's true. That's why we have to use very wisely this technology, not just for entertainment, stupid entertainment. Okay, if you want it, it's okay. But if you use with the responsibility and wisely, you can find a lot of things, download a lot of books and workshops and lessons, lectures. So for me, this is another good, amazing disclosure, and start to find books and things that I never found before, because we know that the information is limited outside, but here on internet is unlimited. So that was amazing. And then I start to collaborate with several groups here in Mexico and in United States, in the Lakota, with Lakota's nations, and in Canada, because my wife is from Canada, and also I went to Peru with the Keros nation, and I start to pay attention to everything, the information and the experiences, and then I start to attach, the points, and I start to read also the ancient books that our ancestors left, like in the Mayan culture. We still have the Popol Vuh and the Chilam Balam books. And when you read that information, is wow, amazing. And you can find the keys to open this wisdom. And then you start to compare with other traditions, especially with the Indian and with the Chinese or Asian tradition. And you start to realize that it's the same thing. So the things that we are missing here in America, you can find them in Asia, because we used to be the same civilization. And also we can prove that, because you can see very clear in the people, not like me, because I'm more European, my features, but the original Mexican, the original Native Americans from United States, Canada, Peru, whatever. If you compare with Polynesians or Filipinos or Thailand, even Japanese, they look the same. You can't tell the difference. Just here in America, the color of the skin is red. In Asia is yellow, but otherwise they are the same. And also we start to see the same practices, and I got to the conclusion that, okay, the things that we missing here, we have to go to that place to remember. And then you start to realize that also we here in Mexico, in Anahuac, we have yoga, we have like Tai Chi, the distance integrity, magic passes. We have also acupuncture, here our ancestors used to make the acupuncture with maguey needles. Maguey is a cactus, like a aloe vera. Is the big one. This is they have thorns, and the thorns they use it to make the acupuncture, and everything starts to lead me to one conclusion, that our ancestors, they were naturists. I don't know if it's the correct word in English, naturist, because maybe naturist, because in French, when you say naturist, you are expressing naked people and something like that. but here in Spanish, it's naturistas and naturist. Naturism is go back to nature, no? To the principles of nature, because they practice ascetic practices. And when you start to read those books, they say that they practice ascetic practices like fasting, insomnia, not just with power of plants, just by fasting and suppress all kind of temptations that metrics are offering all the time. And then I start to find more and more and more and participate in several, here we call it in Nahuatl calpolis. Calpolis are like groups of people that gathering to express and argue and teach part of the tradition in different perspectives, that we call those groups calpulis, a group of encounter to gather people of the tradition, of the Red Path tradition. And you start to find a lot of information on teachers, and you take one for this, take one for the other, here, and you start to resemble your puzzle. And then with your dreams and everything that you start to experience, that you start to recreate the original thing of the source. And that's why I call my movement, and not just me and other people that start to do the same, we are calling the neo-Toltecas, the new Toltecs. New Toltecs, because it's necessary, because we are not the same people from the past. We have to update everything to this present moment, because we have another programs from 500 years ago.
Yeah.
And now we are in the most critical time, because we are suffering a lot of conspiracy from the system.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be very wise to see clearly the things that is happening around planet. They are poisonous through the air with chemtrails, through the water, fluoride water, and also in toxic food, etc., vaccines, whatever. So now it's crucial to start to re-practice, because it's nothing new, it's something from the past, but updated.
Yeah.
So that's important to bring this back, based in the roots of the original wisdom, and then you start to find that it's the same around the planet. They are telling us the same thing with different shape, different perspective, in India, in China, in Egypt, in Europe, in Oceania, in Africa, but they are talking about the same thing, ascension. And also I studied with the Essenian tradition. But do you know what is Essenian?
I do not.
The Essenian tradition comes from part of Palestine and that zone. There are no Jews. There are no Jews. This is we have to clear this, because the Jews is another tradition. But we mix with Jews, Hebrews, but they are not. They don't have religion. They are like Toltec. They are the Toltecs from that part of the planet. Essenian, they were naturist people that practice all kind of ascetic also practices, and I start to realize and compare with the Toltec tradition. Okay, it's the same that I taught here and I learned here in America, but you have here in Essenian. Actually, the Essenian, the allegory of Jesus, because Jesus is an allegory, it's not a human, but they took the allegory and all the practices that they told us that Jesus did this miracle and that and that and that. No, actually, the guy who created Christianism was Paul of Tarso. In Spanish, we say Pablo de Tarso. That they say Saulo. The original name is Saulo of Tarso. And they say there was the apostle Paul, but his name is, he wasn't an apostle, but he went with the Essenian community and he started to see the things that they practice: naturism, fasting, ascetic, and all kind of cleansing techniques to detox your body, like intestinal washes, enemas, and actually, do you know what an enema is? Enema is?
Yeah.
Well,
Enema.
yeah, enema. Well, an enema, the original name of enema is baptism. O sea, a baptism is an enema because you have to clean your colon, your intestine, to get out Satan. Satan is an anagram of natas. If you read Satan from left to right, in Spanish, it say natas. In natas is toxins. Natas is toxins, is blocking and fats and parasites. So that's why they're talking about in allegories and also in metaphors and anagrams. And that's why they start to create the baptism. And the baptism is not that stupid thing that they take your children to the church and, oh, I baptism with water. No, the original baptism is a naturist practice to cleanse your intestine and your stomach and or your whole digesting system. And then we have also this in Mexico, especially in Mexico, we still have the herbalist tradition, and I remember that my grandmother used to heal those with those kind of practices to make you a purge, and then they put an enema, and then you feel, wow, incredible. You say, wow, what do you do to me? No, just using plants and these kind of techniques, and I start to match those cultures and say we're practicing the same. And also I have my friend that he started to teach me more about the Senians, and all the time I say to him, okay, this is the same in the Toltec tradition. No, yes. We start to make comparisons, and we start to realize that, of course, Toltecs is part. The main thing to be a Toltec is to practice naturism, for sure, and ascetic. But that's the point. Coming back to the first topic of Carlos Castañeda. That's why Carlos Castañeda didn't tell you, because they want to make believe people that just ingesting a plant, taking a plant, is enough to open my third eye. Concept of the New Age, no, that we know, because any plant, the plants is not the answer. So all the answers you have inside of you. And also, when we started to read the Huehuetlatoli in Nahuatl, we said Huehuetlatoli means the ancient spoken word. And the Huehuetlatoli, the main thing of the Huehuetlatoli is take everything from your heart, and then you become a Toltec and experience by yourself. This is the first topic to become a Toltec. Experience by yourself and take everything from your heart. And also in Peru, they told me the same, and I start to realize, wow, this is amazing. And also start to realize that we have and understand that we have to get rid of our mind. And also Carlos Castañeda told us through Juan Matus, they say, the predator gave us its mind to make us believe and play its game. So that's the purpose of this. Okay, and how am I going to get rid of my mind? And when you study naturism, you realize that everything comes from the physical body. Because all the New Age tradition says, oh, everything is energy and this and that, and the physical body doesn't matter, and doesn't matter what the things you eat in, because you can transform, blah 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 blah. Bullshit, because everything needs to begin with health. Healthy state is the original state of every being in this planet, unless we distort change this energy with the distortion that we are provoking all the time, living in the predator way. But your state of coherence is to be healthy.
Mhm.
How are you going to be achieve that? Keeping your diet in a very, very strictly way to feed your spirit and the things that you are ingesting. So the first thing is, and then you start to study all the traditions around the planet, the spiritual tradition like Jainism in India, Zen in Japan, Tao in China, Ayurvedic in India, even in Greece, to participate or integrate to the Pythagorean school, they demand you to fast at least 40 days, 40 days fasting.
Wow.
Imagine. So he also is the same here. We in our tradition here in the modern times, you know, I think you hear about this sun dance and moon dance and this kind of tradition, and they force the people to fast at least 4 days or 3 days in also in Temazcali. But the problem, they are making this without any consciousness. They're just doing this practice like, okay, because the tradition demands that.
Right.
But it's not the right thing to do it, because we have now, especially in this modern time, because we are full of very dangerous poison in our body and also toxins. So when you start to fast, you're going to get rid of those poisons or venoms, whatever you want to call them, of toxins. So that's why we have to be very wise in the way we're going to get rid of those poisons, because otherwise it's going to intoxicate you more. But not just because you are fasting, not the act of fasting. This is going to heal you, but you have to do it wisely and step by step, because your organs needs time to recover.
Yeah.
And also our organs have a limited capacity to manage or organize, whatever you want to call it, this kind of toxins. So if you put a lot of toxins for once, it's going to be very dangerous. It's going to poison you, and you could die. This is very serious.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't agree with that tradition that you just fast for fasting because the tradition. No, okay, but now that's why this is my labor now, teaching these people how to practice this in a good way, to see the results positively.
Wow.
And then that's to finish that I found that all the traditions demands to be at least vegetarian, and then of course you have to start to surpassing and overcoming all of your triggers and excesses. And one of the main things that are stealing energy is eating, no matter what kind of food.
Yeah.
Of course, we have levels, no? It's very different to eat a corpse and animals and dead flesh than a fruit, no? It's nothing to see, but even that, we were not designed to eat. To eat is a belief. It's another paradigm. We have 5 paradigms in these modern times. The first one is the diet paradigm, that you need to eat for living. That's not true. The other paradigm is the political. The other one is the economic. The other one is the religion. And the last one, pseudoscience, science. So 5 paradigms.
Yeah.
And those paradigms are not bad by themselves. We have to change them because they were distortion distorted by the system to make us believe of kind of lies that they are telling us, because religion is going to tell you what is good or bad in the moral thing. The politicians are going to make the laws, and they going to tell you that is correct and not correct in the or if you can do that. Then science is going to tell you the things that you know or you don't know, because if the modern science never say that, yeah, it's not true, because we are living now, as you know, we are involved in theories. Everything is a theory,
right?
The Big Bang theory, the evolution theory, the gravity theory, nothing is proven. Everything is theory. It's like oh yeah, we have to believe. And the other paradigm is the feeding of the diet paradigm. So that is telling you that you need food to survive, and that's not true. So that's why that's why Toltec demands to get rid of beliefs and start to experience by yourself everything, and everything take from your heart, not from outside, because you can create energy and manifest outside in matrix. So that's and then to finish the introduction that you asked me, I start to realize all this kind and attach points, and I realized that okay, this is Toltec, but we have to update it.
Yeah.
That's why we have created this movement of Neo-Toltec concept for the modern generations.
Yeah.
And be very practical. Invite people to practice, not just preaching, practice also, both. Mm-hmm. We are going to explain you, but then you're going to practice at the same moment, because when you go to school, they just is going to teach you the theories and the concept, and that's okay. But and for me, there is a limit, as we know. So the teachers say this, that, and then let's see how it's going to be in your real life. But I don't care. I'm just going to tell you this, and you have to believe me. Now here we are going to teach you the concept, the theory, and then you're going to practice. Otherwise, it's not going to work, because it's just concepts, and we are feeding the mind. We have to feed our hearts. So then I start to realize and start to practice this, and I start to create this movement and put the concept of the Toltec in the right way that used to be, not just like you have to take peyote and take ayahuasca, you're going to be very spiritual and very waka, or just wearing feathers, like in Mexico, people wearing feathers and dancing, and also in another tradition, no, the people that I'm going to practice yoga, and I'm very spiritual because I practice yoga, but after that you drink alcohol and I want to fuck women, and come on, that's not the real truth.
Yeah. Wow.
So we say something very special in the tradition. The habit doesn't make the monk. The habit is the clothes. Hábito we say in Spanish, but habit is almost the same. But the clothes doesn't make the monk.
Yep.
So it's not enough. Okay, if you want to be part of the show and do this or that, do it. But you have to go beyond. You have to go to the essence of everything. That is the self-transformation. So use that. If you want to practice yoga, okay, it's going to help you to get that goal. Okay, if you want to meditate, okay. If you want to dance, okay. If you want to pray, okay. But it's not just like that. So you have to. The real Toltec knows that when you get to the point that you don't need anything outside, that everything is outside, and you start to live very seriously inside, the outside is not going to tempt you to this kind of temptations and this matrix well, all this kind of the things that we know the system materialism offers you all the time.
Yeah.
So that's the real Toltec, that start to live seriously inside, in communion, and experience everything by yourself. And that's how I got to this moment to realize that Toltecayot is that, because Toltecayot means the art of living well.
Beautiful. Wow, man. I'm so glad I found you. It's really, really unique information you're sharing. And I have a similar history. I started reading Castaneda 28 years ago. I met a very powerful young man who was very fearless. And so for 8 years, I apprenticed this man, and we just practiced all of what we learned from Castaneda. But he wasn't balanced in his heart. He was chasing power. Okay. And so then I found this old Indian, super old, powerful sorcerer type. You know, you can find these men in Mexico. He was raised since birth by his grandfather. He was taken from his mother, and he was so that he wouldn't become caught in the normal base hypnosis of the program. And so he was raised in a very particular way, and he was very gifted. And so we did, with training with him, was sweat lodge and vision quest, sweat lodge, vision quest, purification, pipe, medicine pipe, prayer, constant, focus on ceremony. But he became very hungry for power as well. He was very out of balance man, but he was very knowledgeable, and just being around somebody who was so focused and so gifted in these old school sorcery things, it just although it was something I had to get away from, it helped me to understand something really unique about lucid dreaming, because he could dream circles around anybody, because he was trained in these ancient arts by his grandfather since birth. So then I ended up going to train with Carol Tiggs and Clear Green, who teach because Carlos Castaneda created Clear Green. And so I spent 10 years training with these people. And I was surprised that they weren't taking care of themselves in the physical. They were only focused on the books. They weren't doing any of the purification practices other than recapitulation. And they were very gifted at the recapitulation, but very imbalanced and very focused on just repeating what Carlos Castaneda said. So they weren't ever learning anything outside of it. And so I found it very strange that there was no harmony, and it was very power focused. And they do not understand that they're being lied to by the media. These are students of Carlos Castaneda, and they have no idea that the media is the government, that the poisons, that all of these different things that are going on in our reality. And so they're just focused on using the gifts of dreaming as a means to transcend the physical world, to move beyond it. But they're having health problems. They're not able to, just like Carlos Castaneda did. He had health problems in the end. So it's very strange to me that they didn't gravitate towards other forms of purification. And so I've been training with people who teach purification through the body, and learning about the benefits of fasting, eating fruit, eating vegetarian, eating vegan, getting rid of the parasites. I've learned a lot from people like Santos. And so it's just rare to find somebody who was practicing the Toltec arts learned about Carlos Castaneda, but also went and learned from other people, so that you have multiple references. And so the fact you've been integrating all this information, it's really powerful, man. It's really rare. Because when COVID hit, I realized that all these people that were focused on this dreaming arts, they just went and got the vaccine. They're just going along with all this stuff. It's like, how can you claim to be a conscious dreamer who can see? You're telling me you're a seer of energy, and then you're just doing what you're being told to do. They were wearing masks, and doing tensegrity in the workshops with a mask on, and I'm just like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
So it's very strange to me. And so I was really, really thankful to see you come up on Santos's interview. And I've had many breakthroughs with the Toltec arts. I've been recapitulating for 28 years. I spent a lot of time in the wilderness, in the darkness, nothing like you have in the jungle. But I learned about gazing in the dark, or gazing with, solar gazing, drawing moonlight and sunlight into my being through breath work. So I got my breath work really dialed and able to spend a lot of time in silence and move my perception. I did use power plants a lot, and now I nothing at all, because I realized that, like you said, it has to come from the self. And but I will say that the movements, the magical passes, are the most effective means to alter perception. If you do these things, especially with lots and lots of people, incredible things happen. And it makes recapitulating so much easier, because all of a sudden you have that extra energy to focus, and you can go into your memories and really regather things from that you left in the past, and then empty yourself of the past. And so we read Castaneda over and over and over, and we read Taisha Abelar, Florinda Donner Grau. These are also students of Carol Tiggs, and or they're students of Don Juan Matus. So I don't know if you've read Florinda or Taisha's books. They're very, very unique, and I think very worth considering. But the fact that you've discovered these teachings and then brought them into a modern way, I really appreciate what you're offering in as far as the retreats and everything. So if you could talk about that, what your retreats are like, and because I have a lot of friends in Russia and Ukraine that would love an authentic experience to come to Mexico to do the magical passes and to learn these things. So if you could share some about what you're offering.
Yeah. This is very important that you just mentioned that people are not in coherence, because also here in the tradition, people, I'm a warrior, no? And they went to the vaccine, okay, they are giving their arms like fucking pussies, okay? Yep. That's not the way thing. And also keep people practicing yoga with masks, and come on.
Yeah.
That's not the real point, because they just want the easy way, that they think that just doing this, doing that, but they don't want to go beyond, because this inner battle, this is the foundations of Toltec, initiate or start the inner battle. The greatest battle of all is against you. You have to defeat yourself, defeat this mind.
Yep.
And that is very important, because it's the crucial part of all, because by here they are controlling us. They are controlling us, because we have the mental body, and the mental body is connected with the intestine, because parasites are controlling our will. So it's proven that a lot of food can provoke depression, fear, anger, rage, whatever, because toxins provokes emotions.
Yep.
It is very easy to prove, because depends the poison that is running through your veins, your behavior is going to be in some way derived by this poison. I can put you an example. If you drink a shot of tequila, or whatever you want to drink, brandy, rum, alcohol, your behavior is going to change. And also if you drink a shot of caffeine, you're going to be, your nervous system is going to be alterated.
Yep.
We don't say, I put an example like more aggressive, that if you give a shot of cocaine, you're going to be totally different, your behavior.
Yeah.
So that's proven that the poison that is running through your veins is going to determine your behavior.
Absolutely. Oh, you broke up for a second there. Hold on, you're not coming in for a sec, so just wait till oh, there you go. You're back now.
Okay. Well, so emotions means E equal energy, motion, movement.
Yes.
Energy and movement. But what kind of energy? Electricity. And electricity, parasites love electricity. As Santos has told us a lot of time.
Yep.
Electricity is a hybrid energy.
Yep.
It's not the real one, it's the illusion. It's dead. So we are provoking, and also causing distortions by using all the time the nervous system. So I am not telling that we have to get rid of the nervous system. It's stupid. But the thing is that we have to keep in balance, that we have to mute that voice of the nervous system. That is the larva that is controlling the body. It's in the brain and also in your spine. So, and how we are going to control the king, because this is another allegory. If the king has people to rule, he's going to be king. But in another, otherwise, when the king has not more people to rule, there is no more king, because you don't have so many people. So this allegory, we can pass it with this is the parasites environment. So this is the ruler, the king, the larva, and the parasites are the army, his army. So we eliminate the army, and automatically the king is going to be sedated and put in post mode, just like that. And then it's going to your heart, your magnetism is going to emanate and it starts to radiate the right frequency. And your shield, your magnetic shield, starts to grow. That's your shield. That's why you do not need nothing outside.
Yep.
And also, of course, we can use some solutions to help you to improve. But most of the people fall in this trap of the solutions, because they say, okay, now I have my solution, because most of the solutions works. And that's why there's a trap, because they say, okay, I have my solution. I can keep doing my things and my predator life, drinking and having sex and eating shit and blah, 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 because after tomorrow I'm going to take this solution and everything is going to be good and right. And that's not the point. The point is make a correction. Correction your lifestyle. That's the point. And if you want to use the solutions in order to make the correction, okay, do it. But if you are just going to use the solutions for keeping your lifestyle, sorry, but you are in the zombie mode in this participating in this extraction metric system. So that's the point of this, recover the state of coherence. If you are practicing something, you have to go deeper and compromise in commitment with yourself. And that's part of the Toltec teaches. Nahuatl means, or Nahualism means, is part of the how to move your energy and commitment with yourself. This is the second step of Toltec. First is know the Toltec in self. What is this? And start to a new lifestyle. And the second one is with commitment and also with force of will. You need willing to achieve those changes in your life. And most of the people, they want just to follow the easy way, taking something, the solution. Okay, I'm gonna die someday, and I'm here just in a very short period of time, and living la vida loca, Ricky Martin said, no? Because it's okay, I don't care, because you are very empty. You have a spiritual emptiness. And you want to feel that empty with materialism, with sex, with food. but that's not the way thing. That's the path of the illusion of the tonality. You are falling into the trap.
We call it the hungry ghost.
Yeah. So that's very important. That's part of the we call the flourish word, la guerra florida. The flourish word is the word that you're going to fight against you, against your habits, against your patterns, against your fears, against your dogmas, against your paradigms. And this flourish word is going to lead you to achieve a state of coherence, to be impeccable. They ask you to be impeccable. How is to be impeccable? Impeccable is order feelings, thoughts, words, and actions in one direction. Because now we are thinking something, but then you are saying something different. And the worst thing is you're acting something different that you said or you thought before or you felt before. We are fighting, struggling with that thing because we are not focused in the same energy. Mm-hmm. We are lost. That's the purpose of the flourish word. Defeat myself, because I am my own word and I am my own medicine also. And I don't have to look outside the things that I have inside. And that's the purpose of Toltec. When I realized this and when I learned this, I said, wow, this is amazing. This is beautiful. So I'm going to practice and check by myself. And of course, change my life forever when I start to practice that kind of wisdom. But because for me, wisdom is different than knowledge. Knowledge is something, information, like you take information for your mind. No? But wisdom is energy that you practice. And you learn by your own experience, empirical experience and practical way. That's the real wisdom. In Toltec and all those kinds of philosophies is the same. Tao is the same. Zen is the same. Yep. They're talking about the same, that we have to be in the commitment to defeat ourselves. And the first step that we have to take is recover your health. Mm-hmm. There is another, for me, there is another. And for me, it's proven health is the first thing that we have to recover, because otherwise, when we are sick, we don't have vitality, we don't have energy, we don't have our mind is dirty because we are full of toxins and poisons, and like I told you before. So there's another phrase that says, clean body, clean mind.
Yep. Beautiful. Yeah, it's really rare that you're able to do all of these things, and it's critical that people, especially in this time, come to terms with this, because what maybe worked for other people in the past or seemed to have worked, we're in a real opportunity now where the veil is lifting and things are becoming very obvious, and it's an opportunity to really shift into doing all of these things at the same time. And you do have to go slow. Like you said, you don't want to just suddenly try to change your life over one night. It's too much to try to detox your body so quickly, right? And without the consciousness. And so the Toltec arts offer such a complete balance. There's so many aspects of it that if you're willing to do all of them, from the recapitulation, learning the lucid dreaming, taking care of your body, the gate of power, embracing the darkness, learning to really become a seer of energy, learning to see energy directly as it flows. This is what will open your passion and your joy for your existence. And Juan Matu said that joy is the greatest accomplishment of a warrior. And I don't think people realize how ecstatic, how heightened awareness, how beautiful it is to be in tune, to be connected to nature, to be in silence with nature. Instead, they go to these workshops and they try to generate this energy And for one weekend, they feel really good because they did all the magical passes. And then they go home and they eat like shit, and they don't save their sexual energy. They just have sex or they masturbate all the time. And they don't understand. It's like they only want to read one part of the book, and then they want to spend all the money to go do the workshop. But then they don't change, and then they come back to another workshop. And so they're caught in the program, and they're just basically, want this idea of being a Toltec practitioner, but in reality, they're just not able to embody it. So it's very, very strange to me that there's so few people that are able to see and understand what those books offered, because they're very complete. They don't talk about the food, unfortunately, and they are very conscious around, in the books, they only eat a little bit of food every hour, and they eat in silence. So at least there is some impeccability brought into those books around conscious eating, but they don't talk about the purification, how important it is. And that's why I'm so interested in your retreats and stuff, is because you're bringing it all together. You're not going along with the lies about this globe Earth and this idea that we're spinning through fucking space and that NASA landed on the fucking moon. And I mean, I have real powerful people that believe all these lies. And it's just so strange to me that how compartmentalized, how honeycombed our minds have become, where you can have all this incredible knowledge over here and still not be able to see the discrepancies. But yeah, I'm fascinated about what you're offering. And are your retreats something that is new for you, or have you been doing them for a little while?
Yeah. But that's the point, that the people, they are lost in the shape of the wisdom, of the knowledge, because also in the Temazcali, the Sweat Lodge,
yep,
most of the people, of course, there are some exceptions, but when they finish the experience, immediately they start to intoxicate their body again.
Yeah,
eating chicken and smoking and having beers, and you say, what the fuck? You just get rid of toxins, and now you're going to. So what is the purpose to do that? To do this? No, there's no sense. Yeah. Because you think that it's like you go to the church every Sunday and start to pray to God, and and after the church you go outside and you're going to hit your wife and scream your children, and that's just hypocritical, no? It's like polarized in the moral in Spanish, morality by the double morality. That's it. Yeah. But that's not the point. We have to get out of the duality. That's why the mind is duality, and go back to unity again. So that's the first concept that Toltec. And also, for me, it's a time of syncretism, because syncretism is a synthesis of everything. No matter, regardless the tradition that you want to practice, doesn't matter. The things now, it's time, it has come to reunite again the human wisdom. But in my case, I'm taking Toltec Kayot because there is, for human beings, there is a missing part in the human history that we have lost since 500 years ago. So now is the time to emerge. And I'm not saying that this is better or worse than others. No, it's the same, but we need to complete the puzzle again, the complete picture, because we are missing one part of the history. In America is very crucial. Now is the time that the prophecy says that now is the time that America is going to rise. Yeah. America is the original name. Anahuac and Tahuantinsuyo. And they say when the eagle from the north and the condor from south reunite again in the center, awakening of the modern humans is going to be given again. Now it's happening. We can see that America is the most mixed continent, because we can find people around the planet living here. Just go to New York and you can see Indians, you can see Chinese, you can see from Iraq, from Turkey, from Africa, from Brazil, from also around America is the most mixed continent now, because it's the time to synchronize. And for me, the energy from this part of the planet is taking importance again. That's why the philosophy and the wisdom is rising. But it's very important, as I told you, to update it. It's not just like a copy paste. No, because 500 years ago it's different.
Totally.
Now we have to update it and make this synchronized. Mm-hmm. And also, Toltec said, one of the things that I love Toltec, that is not a dogma. They say, if you find something that is going to improve your philosophy and your wisdom, take it, incorporate it. Yep. Doesn't matter if it's Chinese, it's African, that is not important. It's taking here to improve. Okay, what not? You want to be very stupid if you say, no, I don't accept that, because that's not from the Toltec, that's from Chinese, that's from from British. No, that's the time, that time it's over. Now it's time to the time to incorporate and reunite everything. And that's why we are trying to do in here in the modern times, to bring the Toltecayo updated.
Yep.
And focus in naturism again. Yep. In these practices to recover our state of health and coherence. And we saw results, because when we start to see first in ourselves, and then with the people where we are interacting, and they are following us, and they are part of the movement, I have seen a lot of results in people that they're improving their health, and they start to losing weight, and they start to see incredible and feel energy, and they start to send in messages like, oh, thank you very much, my life changed a lot and feel better now. I don't have to pay more doctors, and I don't have to go and also I'm saving money, because I don't have to buy this very expensive food and meat and blah, 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 all the things that the system indoctrinate us to believe that we need, especially the things like also like personal things like shampoos and soaps and all those kind of toxins that we have surrounded. When you start to get rid of those, you say, okay, especially for your health, and also in your economy is going to also be the difference. So your change, I can guarantee that your change is going to, your life is going to change in a 180 degrees for sure, for good, in the benefit for yourself and also the benefit of your community. And for me, there are three actions to achieve in these modern times. The first one, I told you, recover your health. Yep. Then recover your sovereignty also. You have to stop participating in the war of the deads. That's why we in Mexico, we celebrated. I said in past celebrated, because now the thing that we celebrate in the modern times is not the real thing of the Dia de Muertos, not the Day of the Dead. But the real meaning is that stop to participate in the war of deaths. Stop to be a walking dead, a zombie. Yeah. And how the first thing is that you have to reclaim your sovereignty again. You are a free human. You have to reclaim your rights. You don't have to ask for them. You have to reclaim them, and also live like, or as a free human. Don't recognize with your ID, with your passport. Stop voting. Stop participating in this insane predator system as much as you can. And that's the sovereignty is one of the things that we have to recover. And the third one, permaculture. Start to be independent of everything. Produce your own food. Start to create eco-villages. Build with this concept of bioconstruction, with natural elements. wood and rocks and clay and whatever, from escape from these houses made of steel and heavy metals, and because they are functioning like antenna.
Yep.
And they are also in the place that you're living is seeking, making you get sick.
Yep.
Because the environment, the electro smog is different in those houses, because first of all, the geometry is not there correctly. And also we are living in cubes with heavy metal surrounded by radio frequencies, whatever. So that's, for me, that's the main thing. Return to nature again, as much as we can, step by step, little by little, okay? But we have to realize these 3 points: health, sovereignty, and permaculture is the main thing that we have to focus now, here and now, in this present moment. No for tomorrow or for 10 more years. No, the time has come. There is no more time. Our ancestor says, Nika Nashkan. Nika Nashkan in Nahuatl means here and now. Here and now, because it's the only time that we are living, present. That's why we in English we say, I give you a present, because the present is a gift. The present is the only time that you're living, because also time, it doesn't exist. It's a concept. It's a fucking concept. Doesn't exist time. Time is just the movement of the dome, of the stars. It's the movement. It's movement.
Exactly.
But it doesn't exist, that concept. Yeah. We have to escape from that paradigm. Actually, a word for that is synchronized. Synchronized means sin is without. In chronos is time. Without chronos. Synchronized means without chronos. And chronos is Saturn. Saturn is the time. Is the Wizard of Oz. That's the point of that. We have to manage our life out of time.
Beautiful.
For that, another concept of the time is the aging of your body.
Yeah.
Is you're getting old. That's another way that see that is the time is running, because you are getting old. Why we are getting old? Because we are eating, we are fucking, we are wasting our energy.
Yep.
We are stealing our energy, practicing those negative habits. So that's the point, that our ancestors left this information around the planet. You don't need to eat, you don't need to have sex, you don't need to waste your energy in stupid things, materialism, consumerism. No, you have to save that energy, create more fine energy. Because here in Matrix, our soul, actually, as a matter of fact, could dead. Because death also is another, outside of the Matrix, we are immortals. But here, actually, if you dead here, you failed. I explain myself better. Of course, you can die by an accident. No, but if you are hit by a car, or give you a shot, or cut your veins, I don't know, by an accident, and also a tree. No, a tree could be immortal here, but if you cut it, or you burn it, or something, you interfere with something, you are gonna kill that tree. Yep. But otherwise, the tree, actually, there are trees that they are very everlasting. They don't lie. They don't die. They have millenniums here in the planet. Our bodies has the same abilities, but we have to get rid that obstructions and blocks, and also we have to eliminate and kill those parasites. Okay. Cleanse your body, and then you're going to feel the real energy. That's why when we fast, we can feel that.
Mm-hmm.
When you fast, when you practice the long fasts, the long fastings is more clear for you, because it's clearer, because you, after the, I don't know, it's subjectively, it's not precisely, because depends, every human being is different in that kind of level of energy. But for me, after 10 days, I'm going to start to feel the real energy from my body.
Mm-hmm.
After the 10th day, the energy increased. You say, wow, I could realize it when I did my first experience of 21 day fasting. And I say, wow, I start to understand the concept that don't look up. And then I start to realize that I have taken off kind of plants like peyote and ayahuasca and mushrooms and also synthetic drugs, no? Because for experience, I never get addicted to nothing. I never smoke, I never drink alcohol, just for the experience. Oh, I want to try this, and that's it, no? And I have tried all of them. And then, and I could say that my experience was cool, and I could say that I spent a good time and showed me a couple things. It's okay. But when I did my first 21 day fasting, I said, wow, none of those plants and drugs gave me or are giving me this kind of energy and connection with myself, my heart. I start to have lucid dreams like this. And also I only sleep 4 hours per day because I have a lot of energy. Say, wow, what the fuck? What am I going to do with this amount of energy? This is amazing. And also I have lucidity in my head. I start to think very clearly and say, wow, I never experienced this sensation before. And that's when I realized that never look outside the things that you have inside. I could understand that concept because before I said, okay, this is metaphorical, this. No, that's why we're saying experience by yourself, stop to believe.
Yep.
Until you have your own energy here, you don't have to take or steal from other or from a plant or for a fruit. No, stop to steal energy. But you have to do it step by step.
Yeah.
There is no one from another. That's not going to work. I'm just telling you that, beyond that. But no, if you are listening this at the first time, don't get crazy. Slow down. No, yeah. You have to start with something. And the first thing that you have to start to change is your diet. Change your diet, please. Become vegetarian, become vegan. Stop to eat junk food, processed food, artificial, packed food with these plastic bags and cans, and because all kind of plastic products and cans has a lot of heavy metals and also endocrinal disruptors that they want to change your hormones.
Yep.
That's why we have a lot of homosexual cases now in the planet, because they are changing. Actually, I saw like a documentary on YouTube that a guy in the United States that he was testing the water in the for the agriculture.
Yep.
And he found that they put a chemical called atrazine. And this atrazine, they tried it in frogs, in male frogs, and after 2 weeks, the frogs start to change the gender, and they started to put eggs. Amazing! They are changing the sex, their orientation by chemicals.
Yeah.
So there's another proof that depends the poison on your blood, you're going to reflect a behavior, a distortion on your mind. This is a very huge topic that I don't want to involve anymore, because I know that we are not ready yet, especially in these modern times, that, this stupid thing of LGB, whatever letters of these lobbies.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
We have to be very intoxicated. And also in Spanish, we say that this pandemic, because it was a pandemic, no pandemic, pandemic, no pandemic, was of, in Spanish we say envenenamiento. Veneno is venom, poison, veneno. Envenenamiento, miento, mentira, lie. O sea, they are poisonous and lying to us.
Yeah.
I enveneno y miento. That's the real thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are poisonous through airs, chemtrails, water, food. Everywhere we are surrounded by poisons. Actually, in our houses, our clothes, artificial clothes with this made of petrol, made of artificial fabrics.
Yep.
And also wearing shampoo, another thing, or using shampoos and soaps and deodorants and detergents and soaps and whatever you want to call them. We are surrounded by a big industry that is poisonous every time, environment of poisons. Our houses are full of plastic chairs, table, everything. We are living in a plastic world. And the plastic is very dangerous, because it has a lot of chemical that is going to change your hormonal structure and chemical. So that's why I told you, and I go back again, health is the first thing that we have to recover.
Yeah.
And to recover and get rid of toxins, the main thing is change your diet again. And then you have to sweat. That's why our ancestors created the temazcali, the sweat lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, around the planet, if you check the cultures, the ancient cultures, they practice saunas. The sauna is practical around the planet, because they knew that by sweating, you are eliminating toxins, physical toxins. And when you eliminate physical toxins, you eliminate emotional toxins, because it's clear. Toxin create emotion. So that's why, for me, temazcal is one of the best benefits that we have, because also there you enter to chant and scream, and you are in the encounter of yourself in darkness and sweating. You are eliminating toxins, physical toxins. So I recommend you, if you don't have the chance to get into the temazcal, go to a gym, in a sauna.
Yep.
Actually, the dry sauna is the best, because the dry sauna is going to force you to sweat by yourself. Mm-hmm. Because with the wet sauna, is more easier to sweat, because the environment, the steam is going to help you.
Yep.
But when it's dry, no, your body is forced to sweat by itself. So you're going to get rid of more toxins by sweating. And also practice the opposite, cold baths. Mm-hmm. Hot and cold, that's the best medicine for your body. You're going to improve your health. And also another main thing that you have to remember, because now we have to remember, because those practices are not new.
Right.
This you will have to remember. That's why I'm saying remember. So the other thing that you have to remember is to grounding, earthing. Again, this is crucial, because now is the mostly in this modern time, because we are being attacked by radio frequencies, electro smog, and they are attacking, and they are interacting with our magnetoelectric circuit. And also everything is sound. We have to remember everything is sound frequencies. And those frequencies, actually, the armies has sonic weapons. Have you seen these antennas where they use and they put it directly to the crowd, and they want to, when they have people protesting, they direct these antennas. Wow, they make you crazy, you know, because sound is also that's why the system are using music also. Music is very dangerous. It's not like I don't want to listen to music, especially the modern music, because it's out of tune in another tune. Yeah. And they using because they charge with emotional frequencies to interact with your emotional body, and you integrate those. If you don't believe me, check cymatics. Cymatics is going to show you how sounds, how matter and water reacts to sound. So that's very important, that realize that earthing, when we are earthing, it's another how do you say this? Another I forgot the Spanish name also, the word okay. We have Temazcali. There is very important, the sweat lodge, because it's like a Faraday cage. Do you know about this, the Faraday cage?
I don't know.
It's an isolator Faraday's cage.
Okay.
This is a concept, modern concept. Faraday is the last name of the guy that invented this. Faraday is the last name, and they name it because he invented this, the Faraday cage. It's an isolated cage made by aluminum. When you put something inside, radio frequencies can't trespass it. If you put your cell phone inside, there is no signal in your cell phone. Eliminates other radio frequencies.
Yes.
Actually, our body is a Faraday cage also.
Wow.
Because we are magno and dielectric beings.
Yes.
Our dielectric system is our skin, and also some tissues and fats. And the magnetic is here, heart. It's producing magnetism. So to function this, you have to earth that, ground that, to grounding. It's also Temazcali is another aspect for the Temazcali is that is put it on earth. So it's grounding, the Temazcali is connected to earth. And when we have the steam in our tradition, we call it atlachinoli in Nahuatl. Atlachinoli means burnt water, because you have to burn the water to create steam. That third force that is going to ascend, is going to be like, it's a lighter force that ascends. So everything that go inside to the Temazcali has to ascend. It's a metaphor for your life also. And that steam, that vapor is going to create this kind of isolated environment, and it's connected to the earth. So there is no, we are free of that frequencies, for those frequencies and electrosmog, including, this is another thing that we have to realize, that stars are interacting with us because they are emanating frequencies and light, because stars are sonidoluminescence, sound luminescence. That means that they're producing frequencies and light. So that's why we have astrology, because the astral realm is controlling us, sending those frequencies, and our mental body is the antenna, is receiving that. That's why we have a personality, depends the date that you born. You when you born in January, you are Aquarius, no? When you born in June, you are Gemini. Yeah. And it's very clear to prove it. That's a programming thing. So that's, for me, that's very important to check your chart, astrological chart.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see clearly what is your programming there in order to change that, to cut that, not to follow and you resign to say, okay, I am a Scorpio and this is my personality. You have to take it. No, fuck you. You have to change that because that they are controlling us by those energies. And also this is something that we have to realize. That's why our ancestors created Temazcalis, because inside the Temazcali, they used to give birth.
Yeah.
Because when you give birth in that environment, you are protected by and surrounded by that Faraday cage. And then their babies, they are not going to intake those frequencies from the stars. And now we are taking not just from the stars, taking from antennas, 5G, Wi-Fi, television, radio, etc. So that's very important to earthing daily.
Yes.
And start to walk barefoot again.
Yep.
Make the contact with the piezoelectric. We created the piezoelectric effect, created energy through our feet. And then we are receiving the magnetism from the earth and receiving also minerals. There's another way to eat, to feed yourself without ingestion of something exterior.
Wow.
And also breathe. That's why the system start to forcing us to wear masks and all kind of bullshit. Exactly. Because they knew that.
Yep.
We are living because we are breathing, not because we are eating.
Right.
So breath is the first food that you have to take.
Yep.
So that's very, very important to realize those concepts. And that's the things that we are teaching, practicing, and sharing with the world to start to change the system for the root.
Wow. Yes, man. That's so, you really dialed in some pieces I'd never heard before. Appreciate that. I spent a lot of time in sweat lodges, but I'd never thought about a child being born in a sweat lodge. That's so powerful. And because I don't have sweat lodge here where I am right now, I go to the dry sauna all the time. It's the most incredible thing to get.
Yeah, cool.
To let yourself learn to slow your heart rate down so I can stay in there for long periods of time, you know, and just keep purging and purification. So it's and what Don Juan Matus said was that warriors walk a lot, you know, and so I'm always walking in the forest and I do magical passes barefoot in the forest, and it's just silence, the connection to the land. But it's a whole different thing to be in Mexico. When I'm down in Mexico, it's like everything feels very different. Easier for me for lucid dreaming. Everything seems to open up. It's just a very magical place for me. But grounding, the reason I do martial arts is so that I really understand if I can ground or not. Because when I'm going up against somebody who's bigger than me, if they can't ground, if they don't know how to ground, then they struggle even though they're bigger than me. It's the person that gets really rooted, that knows how to run basically roots down to the earth like a tree. You know, and it's about finding that stability. And when you have that and you communicate with trees all the time, because the trees are all connected through their roots. So you can work with one tree and have a conversation through feeling. And your feeling capacity starts to expand and you start to connect to the mother. And it's just, you know, we call it forest bathing, where you're saturating yourself in nature. And it's a really beautiful way to connect. And I was going to add, some people struggle to switch to vegetarian and vegan because their nervous systems are so dysregulated and they're used to those synthetic hormones that come from the meat that is regulating their nervous system because they're that dependent on it. So some people have to even go slower than just switching. So if you help people that are really scared because they get too altered, help them to transition from like heavy meat eating to less heavy, to less meat, to less and less and less before they make the change. This is only for certain people who are quite sick, because some people, they try to switch over and it makes them feel so uncomfortable that they go back to this old way of eating, and then they give up on purification. And so I've been helping some people with that understanding that it's okay to go slow, and that way you'll have a better shot at it. But for most people, they're healthy enough to switch over today. You know, they could switch tonight and switch into vegetarian and be okay. And because it's just a matter of knowing where you're at and listening to your own personal guidance. But I'm glad that you're bringing that up so much. It is the most important thing, is what's going on with your microbiome, your gut brain is the real intelligence, right? We talk about being in the brain here, but it's the gut brain is connected to everything. And when you heal your microbiome, like Santos talks about, and then, you know, Santos talks about tantra, white tantra, learning how to save your sexual energy in a very particular way. But Toltecs take it a step further, and they talk about total celibacy. You know, and I was fortunate when I read Castaneda at a young age. I was so into it. I was so like, oh my God, this is so amazing. For an entire year, I didn't even have any sexual thoughts. And so it allowed me to have such a pure relationship with perception. And I've never watched any of the pornography or anything. I never look at it, because those images, they change you, you know. So that's really, once people understand that you don't have to be focused on sex, then your eyes, you start being in love with creation. You start seeing the beauty of the world instead of just being focused on women. And this is what I think Toltecs have figured out, that sexual energy is dreaming energy. They're the same thing. And so we use all that energy. Most people use that energy to procreate or to focus on chasing women. But if you focus it on lucid dreaming and you save that energy, all these incredible things start to happen, and you can spend a lot of time in silence, learning to not go all the way to sleep, but just stay right on that edge of consciousness where you're drifting into sleep, but you're staying aware. And then eventually, if you go to sleep and you can realize you're in a dream, and, you know, like Carlos said, to look at your hands, this is a way of, it doesn't have to be your hands, it could be anything, but it's just a matter of, because the dream will try to pull you out into unconsciousness, the forces that are interacting with us in dream time. And so when you learn to become really comfortable with staying in that altered state throughout the night, you get just as much rest without going all the way to sleep. And so what Don Juan Matus talked about, being able to cross those dreaming gates, to me, that is where we are going to really learn to communicate and have telepathy, be able to talk to others from far away, because we'll be able to stay conscious and have direct messages come between one and another through dream time. So that's been my focus, you know, learning how to save my sexual energy and utilize it for dreaming. And it's been an absolute breakthrough for me, and I've just fallen in love with all the potential, because it's just the beginning. You know, if you think about what Juan Matus was able to do in those books, it's pretty phenomenal. And what you talk about zombies, you know, they refer to as the phantom world, that everybody is caught in that even the people that are, you think are your friends or you think are your family, when you start to become free, they try to pull you back. These people are hooked to the program, and that's called the phantom. That's what the Toltecs call phantom world. And I think it's becoming more and more obvious today now. It's so easy to tell people that are hooked to the program and people that are breaking free of it. And so it's very exciting. It's very, very beautiful that this is happening. So thankful to people that of all different walks of life, you know, like Santos is so focused on learning about the truth. He's very much a truther. But there's also people that are very much the artists, dreaming artists, people that are doing very specific types of intention. So finding each other, learning to work with each other, and it's just everybody's coming together. And syncretism, what you're talking about, and that's why I appreciate that Santos calls it syncretism, and the fact he's bringing so many dynamic teachers into that schooling. It's been really incredible, and I'm glad he brought you to the table. So are you doing something? Are you having a gathering this summer?
Yes.
Yeah. And people can find that information on your channel?
Yeah. Yes.
Because I'll post in my, I'll share this recording with you, and then I'm going to share it with my friends in Russia. And then I'll put your channel on my channel underneath this video so people can contact you. Because I think it's time, you know, that we meet each other, that people come together. It's powerful.
Yeah, yeah. Was the Toltec is a journey that requires self-commitment,
yeah,
and willing.
The will.
The will is very important. The force of will. That force of will we call in our archetype called Huitzilopochtli. Huitzilopochtli means the lefty hummingbird.
The what?
Hummingbird. The lefty hummingbird. This is an allegory because our ancestors, they were a very good observers of nature, because they know that we are a reflection, as within so without. And they start to observe nature and how the animals and nature behaves. And they saw this little bird, how this little bird moves.
Yeah.
And they saw that this little bird has the force of will to move forwards, backwards, left, right. Because if we are following the concept of the pseudoscience of today, the aerodynamic, they say, oh, this kind of birds is impossible that they can fly. And also bumblebees, because they are not flying, they are floating.
Yes.
They are using sound, producing resonance concept. But besides that, the main thing of this hummingbird is that they're using the force of will to move at pleasure. Because this bird is not programmed with this stupid concept of gravity and blah, blah, blah. And also, the biggest organ of this bird is its heart. And also this little bird is hibernates, because hibernate is a process that you go to die to reborn.
Wow.
And that's why we came here to the Matrix. We say we have to die for living.
Yes.
And it's a metaphorical way to say that you have to kill that zombie that you used to be, and becoming a better version of yourself every day, using the force of the heart, the force of will, like this hummingbird.
Yeah.
Be heart, be wise, and also rebirth every day, reborn every day. So that's why we call Huitzilopochtli. And Huitzilopochtli is very present in our culture, because this archetype that is going to allow you to achieve these changes in your life. There is two things that we have to achieve. First one, be aware, because when we are ignorant, because we don't know what the thing that we have to change.
Right.
Like most of the planet, we are ignorant. We were born in ignorance. Okay, we were victims of the system. But then, as adults, we are 100% to be responsible to change that. And now the time to be victims is over. Now is the time to be responsibles. because we are living, like a victim, poor of me, they are victim of the system. Okay, you were victim of that, all of us. But now you have the knowledge, no, you are aware. And our ancestor said, if you are aware of the things that you have to change and you don't do it, you are worse than the past, because now you're aware. You don't have excuses anymore. And after that, it's not enough, because all of us, we know that to smoke is very bad. And actually now in the boxes of the cigarettes, they tell you, to smoke kills you. Something like that, I don't know, because I don't smoke. But people doesn't care about it. They say, I don't care, I want to smoke. But you don't know that also drinking Coca-Cola or drink alcohol is bad for your health. I don't care. So that's why I'm saying that it's not enough to be aware. Is this first step? Okay. Yeah. But after that is the most important thing to achieve. First of that changes. Totally. So using this force of Huitzilopochtli and acting like a hummingbird. And also hummingbird is beautiful because is participating in this environment in a cooperative environment. It's not predating, it's not a predator, because it's taking nectar from the flowers, and in exchange, the flower says, okay, I'm going to give you my nectar, but you have to pollinize, to spread the pollen around you. It's fair, okay, no problem. And that's why we have to act the same thing. That's why this archetype is very important, because it's telling you how to act in this system. We have to go back, return to the cooperative and fraternity system, the real one. One for all and all for one. And also in Mexico, we still have this kind of lifestyle and these habits, customs that we call in Nahuatl, tequit, that means labor. And when we say in the town, we say, okay, this weekend it's a tequio weekend. They are telling us that it's time to act for the benefit for the people and for the town. Okay, now we need to repair, I don't know, the garden of the park. Okay, we're going to go together, and when something happens to a brother's or sister's house, okay, we all want to help him or her to repair the house. Okay, all together, and it's a beautiful custom that we inherit from our ancestors. They used to live like that, and there's another proof that Toltecs live in harmony, because actually in Anahuac and also in America, we didn't use money. We didn't have money. We didn't have private property. We didn't have frontiers. We didn't have countries. That concept is new one. We used to practice and make the red path, that they start from Alaska to Patagonia, Argentina, and again, they travel through the continent because they realize that we are energy. So we have to move energy, moving us, and exchanging concepts and traditions, and that's why we can find a lot of concepts from along the planet, also the planet, but the continent. Information from Teotihuacan in Guatemala, then information in Peru from Lakotas, and because they used to mix and live in this fraternity state of life, of cooperative and fraternity state of lifestyle. Wow. So that's very important again. And that's why we realized that our ancestors, they weren't savages, because they when I went to Peru, a guide, an elder, told me before the European came to our continent, we were very high in the concept of spirituality and technology. And I said, for sure, because I can see the proofs in their constructions, the pyramids, Machu Picchu is amazing, Teotihuacan, here, there. Actually, Mexico City, Tenochtitlan, was built on a lake, on a fucking lake. This is not a savage technology. This is a high technology and a very advanced knowledge of architecture and everything about that to build a city on a lake. Wow. And they have a very organized system based in spirituality, in connection, and there are the proofs that they weren't savages. And they were very high in the concepts of spirituality. And that's why created this amazing philosophy called Toltec, the art of living well.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I agree. I study ancient history and trying to understand all the lies that we've been told about history, and I just keep learning more and more. And I hadn't thought about that, but it's it's so true. We lived in harmony clearly, and they're trying to make us think that this is the most evolved time that was ever been, and that things were all terrible before, and that way they keep us in fear and think that, oh, we need all this medicine, and we need the polio shot, and you need all these vaccines, you need all these hospitals. And like, I've never gone to a doctor. I don't need to, because I don't hand my power over to anybody. I know how I'm intuitive. I know to take care of my own body through, just listening. But I see everybody who is constantly looking for, or the most people that are hard to wake up are the people that went to college. They're the ones that are indoctrinated the most. They believe in all of these systems of information that have kept them from being in their intuition. It's just unfortunate that they think they're so knowledgeable because they got a PhD, right? They're a professor now or whatever, and they're just the most difficult people to have a basic conversation with.
Yeah.
They're not willing to learn because they know everything already, and so they talk down to you. They talk down to people who didn't go to these institutions.
They live inside of a bubble.
Yeah.
Actually, our ancestors say something very crucial about this. They say the natural medicine doesn't exist because the natural energy or thing is not to get sick.
Yeah.
so when I heard this, is wow, amazing. Yes, that's right. Why you don't have to get sick? So I think that why to think that people is believing that a god or something that have created this, he said, or it said, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Okay, I'm going to put medicine for these humans because they're going to get sick some point. No. So there are no natural medicine.
No, I agree.
And also there is no, of course, there is no artificial medicine, because now human beings are looking to find health inside of a bottle or inside of a pill. It's impossible.
All you have to do is dry fast. Your body knows what to do, how to fix itself if you fast, right? And people instead, they go and take chemotherapy for cancer, and it just destroys you. You may destroy the cancer, but it just destroys you for life. And all you had to do was dry fast, because the body knows exactly how to repair itself. We are very intelligent beings.
Yeah, 40 days of fasting is enough to make a restart
The cells
and your body completely.
Yeah, it's very true. That's why it's in the Bible, even though it's just allegoric.
Yeah, yeah.
telling you the truth, you know, and it's so simple, but people take it, that's religion. It used to be religion they were going to run the world with. Now it's science, because the religion is failing, it's not working. So now they're trying to take over with science, pseudoscience. And it's just unfortunate because all the lies are all easy to see. But as we know, this is part of the journey, is that we are unique in that we see the difference. If everybody knew this, then our challenges would be different. But we have a unique challenge to be conscious of all of these things and have people that are saying, "Oh no, you're crazy," or they're gonna they might take this off YouTube, right? Because we said some things that aren't according to the rules. And so censorship is getting worse. They're afraid of the truth. It's a threat to the matrix. And but it's just a matter of time, or even though there is no time, it's a non-linear abstract
Yeah.
realm. But eventually, as we progress, there will be more and more people who will be able to come out of this hypnosis. And people like you offering retreats, places that you can go and fast and do temazcal, you know, people that offer vision quests, people that, you know, do these things. More and more people are going to want to connect and have really authentic experiences, and then they'll want to have authentic lives. They'll want to instead of just have a weekend, they're going to want to have their whole entire life living in balance and harmony. And so kudos to you, brother, for walking your truth, for really doing the work, you know. It's really rare, and it's really good to meet you. I look forward to more talking with you, and hopefully more. There's so much we could talk about. We're coming up on 2 hours, so I think we'll probably close it down for this video. And I'll be reaching out to you about, you know, what you got going on in July, and I'll be posting your channel on my channel. And
No, thank you.
yeah, hopefully we can. I look forward to your next interview with Santos, so you guys can dive deeper. And yeah, man, I'm glad you and Santos met, because you know, it led you to being interviewed by him. And you're right, you're outside of Mexico City, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I love it down there, so I hope to come down. I don't know if I can make it for this summer, but I have a lot of friends that would like to come, and so let me know how often you do it and things like this, and we'll correspond.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime. Actually, we used to program our retreats, depends the demand. If we have some groups already, we can discuss and plan everything. Okay, I have a group of this. Okay, we can, because we have a perfect places that is already to be there.
Perfect.
Actually, the place that we are going to organize the next retreat is amazing, because it's a place designed by permaculture and bioconstruction, and it's made for that. It's especially for that, to receive people, to organize retreats. And we have our temazcali, we have our natural swimming pool, and we are in nature, and we teach people permaculture and these kind of naturist practices, and we are taking the next level, the Toltek experience. Wow. in your self experience. But anytime we are organizing a lot of groups and experiences, but depends the demand. No, if we have already organized group, okay, we can discuss and plan, and everything is going to be given up by our intention.
Yes. Oh man, that's so cool to know that you're flexible and that we can do that, because more and more people are becoming interested. And I think it's time that we get together like that. So I'm glad you found the land, and that you have the intent, and that you're, you know, making this possible for people. So Roberto, it's such a pleasure, brother. I really, really enjoyed talking with you, and look forward to more talks. And
likewise,
I'll be in touch soon. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Anytime, brother. And thank you very much. I appreciate your invitation. And for me, it's crucial now to share this word, and the people start to, especially people from this continent. No, it's for the entire planet, from this continent.
Yeah.
despite if you are Chinese, Indian, whatever, now we are the new Americans. And not just people from the United States, around the continent. And now is the time to make the commitment with this, how do you say this in English? To reivindicate our ancestors, because they have been treated very bad by the history. Now is the moment to put them in the right position. We have been worshiping, oh, Europe, yeah, we come from Europe, Greeks, it's okay. But now the balances have to be in equilibrium with our ancestors. And that's happened to me. When I start to embrace my American heritage and start to practice Toltec, I would say, wow, this is amazing. We are, as Americans, as Mexicans, as Canadians, as Brazilians, as Argentinians, we are missing this beautiful and amazing knowledge and wisdom. So now the time has come to embrace it again. And of course, like I told you before, update and just go to practice. That's it. There is no big science. It's very easy. Just follow your heart, follow your intuition, follow your Nahual. Your Nahual is your inner self, your intuition, your heart. And start to shut down your mind, and start to living from your heart. That's the basics of everything.
Absolutely, man. Wow, well said. Thank you, brother. Look forward to more talks with you, and appreciate your time so very much. Okay, man. Talk soon.
Sure.
All right. Bye-bye.